Okay, good afternoon, everybody, RE listeners. I've got a really cool guest on with us today. Her name is Victoria Kennedy. She's an Inman brand ambassador. And also, we've got, as always, Chad Hawley on with us. So, Victoria, if you will, kind of introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about us and what your background is, because it's pretty cool. There's some unique things. If you don't share it, I'll remind you. But there's some pretty good stuff out there. Let everybody know who you are, Victoria.
Thank you guys for having me. It's so
Yes,
awesome how we
welcome.
connected and found each other. Thank you for having me. This is a really awesome space. I love that you combine real estate with sports. That's really like, what? That's cool. A little bit about me. I'm the CEO of Atlas Real Estate and I'm the co-founder as well. And we are a marketing company for real estate agents, brokers, all that good stuff. A little bit about me personally. I speak a lot about real estate, very passionate about it.
Yeah.
So I've spoken at the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I'm also an Inman brand ambassador. I've been in over 173 publications. My work has, anyway, both nationally and internationally. So I do love to write and to be engaged in real estate in all aspects, mostly about marketing, digital marketing, and helping realtors establish themselves as authorities in their communities.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Now, let's talk a little bit deeper. You got a good speaking voice, but I heard you have a really good singing voice too.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, no, you got to tell us a little bit about it. I mean, what got you into, I know what you're into right now, but what took you to take that leap of like moving from a professional stage performer into becoming a CEO of your own business and more importantly, helping a lot of us real estate agents?
Well, I find that realtors are very similar to performers. We have the same personality type. So going in from being a performer into real estate was honestly such a natural transition for me
Right.
because I connect with you guys so much because we all, both performers and realtors are sort of performers. They have to put themselves out there. Who you are is what you're selling, your personality
True.
type, if you work well with people, your face is on your business cards. It's a people and relationship business, a lot like performers. So when I came to who do I want to serve? What is my target demographic? Real estate and realtors was just a natural fit for me.
That's awesome. It's so funny that you say that because you're spot on. I mean, right? Our brand is who we are. We walk and live our brand. I think a lot of us in this business get a little confused on what brand is, right? So they're like, they search for different firms and go, well, I should be here because this balloon is going to sell my homes. Or I should be here because, Warren Buffett is the name that's going to sell my homes. But at the end of the day, it's the things and the actions that we each independently do as our own walking brand that brings the crowd in, if you will, and really just pleases the crowd so that they continue to push us forward in front of other people. So that's pretty cool. That's a neat way to look at it and a different type of perspective that I can appreciate. That's pretty cool. Now, I always ask how we meet because typically the people that I talk to, I know very well. But in this case, due to COVID, I kind of stalked you. And that's how we got to meet you socially, right? So we socially got to meet you that way.
You don't say that on a recording.
And as you can see, Chad has got the new way of sports in our soon-to-be future.
Love it. Love it.
But we also have some really cool celebrity type people on here, and one of them most recently was a comedian out of New York City. And when we were talking to him, the thing almost like a performer is how do you get back into the transition of, because you live off the vibe of people, but if you can't interact with people, how can you really excel your business? So that leads me to your question that's kind of loaded, but knowing that your new form of business or Atlas Real Estate or however the definition of that is, how does your brand or your I guess whatever your company is, how does that help the agent get in front of people?
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you brought that up because before COVID, whenever I would have meetings with realtors and I would say, it's a Zoom meeting, I'd say more than half of them say, what, Zoom? Do I have to download it? How do I work the camera? Nobody knew how to work Zoom. And I have to say, since COVID, that's been one huge, awesome change. Everybody knows what Zoom is. Everybody knows how to use it. And as a digital marketer, I find it to be even better than ever before because now realtors understand that yeah, you have to be online. Before I'd have conversations with them and they would say, well, I network a lot, I cold call, I door knock, you know, all these things which are no longer possible. And I have been saying this, for years. You need to get online. You need to have that online presence. That's the future. That's where you need to be. And I was getting so much resistance, but I feel like now with COVID, everybody knows, hey, you know what? Maybe Victoria was right. Maybe she was onto something. Maybe we need to be online. And, you know, the people who have got on it early have seen the best success. But everyone else, instead of, now is the time to own the market, right? Every single individual realtor can be the authority in their community online. You don't even need to go out anymore. You know, Facebook groups make it so easy to connect with people. I love to give my realtors a lot of different, not just leads, because of course my agency does leads, but tools and tricks on how to be that authority in your community for free, right? Things that people don't know. How many realtors do you know have a Google My Business set up? It's completely free. It's complete. Thank you, Chad. Yes, Chad knows everybody.
It's Mario, but
Mario and Chad. Sorry, Mario. I'm sorry. Sorry, but you know, this is why things like that realtors wouldn't have even thought of before COVID, and now they're starting to realize that's super important. Getting yourself on Google, getting yourself on Yelp, making videos to stay top of mind. You know, not only does it save you, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on direct mailers, but it puts you more where people actually are. You know, a person sees a mailer, oh, that's nice, and then they throw it away. But if you see posts on Facebook by someone actually giving value, saying, hey, I know you have questions about what's going on right now in Charlotte, specifically because you live in Charlotte, like, I just want to let you know this is what's going on in the market. If you have any questions, just let me know. How much more valuable is that as opposed to a mailer? If you want to buy or sell, call me. Which one are they going to listen to? Which one is the authority? One sounds like a marketer, one sounds like someone who's an authority that they want to talk to. So these are the kinds of things that I think digital marketing and COVID has really helped usher in this new era for realtors who are smart to jump on this opportunity.
That's pretty cool. Now, with Inman, what is it like a brand ambassador? What is the actual definition of that? Do you mind?
Yeah, no, absolutely. A brand ambassador for Inman specifically is they choose, so you have to be nominated, which is why it's such an awesome honor. And thank you so much. They nominate people in the community, in the nation, who they think has a voice in real estate that people listen to, that is doing things, has a platform to serve as their ambassadors, which is, hey, we respect this person in the real estate community. They have a big following, they have a big platform, and we want them to usher out our message, which is one of connection, which is one of all things real estate. I mean, they're the #1 real estate publication in the nation. Yeah. So to get this brand ambassadorship, it really, like, to me, it means so much. It means holding on that legacy of dedication, of commitment, of excellence in real estate.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, we're going to get super serious real quick. Are you okay with that?
I'm ready.
Okay. Who's your favorite sports team?
Come on. I'm in Vegas. So Golden Knights. Come on. Golden Knights. Hockey, anybody?
Well, that's cool,
we're crazy about Golden Knights in Vegas. Like, crazy about it.
You know what's crazy?
It's everywhere.
Yeah, Mario and I are out there for a conference, I guess 2 years ago. And, you know, I hadn't been to Vegas since the Knights moved there, you know, or since the franchise started there. And we're walking through the MGM, and I mean, it was just everybody decked out in hockey jerseys. It was like the beginning of March, like 2 years ago.
Blows your mind.
What is going on? Of course, I didn't realize like the T-Mobile Arena was right there where they played. So obviously it made a little more sense as I spent some time and figured it out. But it's nice to see like that the town has embraced that team so much. How are you feeling about the Raiders coming to town? Are you excited about having the football team?
I don't know, because you know Raiders have such a bad rap, you know, and so I'm like, I don't know, maybe Vegas can soften them up. I'm not quite sure. I mean, because they're really hardcore. You know, everything about the Raiders is like hardcore.
Yeah, but
and
I honestly, sorry to cut you off, but I honestly feel like that's their perfect home for them, right? Because Vegas is so extravagant, right? Everybody's you either are like super dressed as a performer, or and football's performance too, right? It's just a little bit.
It's
So
true. It's true.
those guys, they're fans more importantly than the team.
Yeah.
The performers, right? Those guys are wearing
Yeah.
all the weird stuff. They've
Oh
all
yeah.
put out like a sore thumb in California.
Oh
But to
yeah.
go to Vegas is like, I feel like it's the perfect place for their
Wow.
vigilantes, if you will.
You know what? I'll probably end up being a Raider fan because you just get sucked into the culture. Like I'm a Golden Knights fan. Everybody in Vegas is. It's sort of like we're a big family and it's a big small town. It really is. And so there's literally Golden Knights everywhere. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be Raiders everywhere as well. So I'm going to have to be a fan at some point.
It still blows my mind that a place as hot as it is has
I know.
such a hockey following.
I know. Well, because it was the only major league sports team we ever had. So we just latched onto it with dear life.
That's actually pretty darn cool. I don't know. Have you looked at your schedule yet for the NFL? Have you even taken a glance at that?
For
the
Raiders?
Yeah.
No, not even yet. Because it's still being built, the stadium. I mean, I know it should be ready, but it's not ready yet.
Cool. Now, let me ask you a question. What's the biggest, you may have already touched on this, what's the biggest positive you've taken out of COVID so far?
Yeah, I think it would be connection, because I think now more than ever, people are at home and they're like, oh, we can't touch anybody anymore. I mean, 6 feet apart, elbow bumps, no one can touch anybody. And so I feel like online communities have been a safe haven for not only myself, but for other realtors, other people in general. I feel like people are joining these communities online, like Facebook groups, for example, of things that they're interested in to sort of find another way to connect to people that they couldn't connect to. Nobody can connect with anybody right now. So I feel like Facebook groups, online communities are becoming huge. And for me, even as a marketer, I'm thinking this is a great way to connect with my target audience. This is a great way to connect with other people. Being an Inman ambassador, I'm always trying to connect with different people in the industry of just like what's going on, how can we be of more value, all these kinds of things. And for me, I'm so grateful for these online communities because I don't feel as disconnected as I would, because I mean, I am home. I'm home.
Right.
I can't go anywhere. So I'm stuck with everyone else, but I have these communities online. So I don't feel so alone. I feel like I'm still being able to connect and laugh and joke and, gifts and all these like different funny things with people in my community. And so that's the one thing that I've learned from COVID and that I'm super grateful for, online communities.
That's super cool. That's a good way to look at that. I haven't really thought about that, Chad, or on different types of communities, but that makes a total sense what you're saying there. Now, with the transition, what's Vegas like? Are you guys going out in phases as well as the rest of like North and South Carolina? Is it phase 1, 2, phase 3?
Yeah.
What phase are you guys currently in right now?
We're in phase 1.
Phase 1. Okay.
But real estate is an essential business in Nevada.
Oh, sweet.
So
okay.
We have not really been affected by, to be honest, the housing market out here is fine. It's fine. Like we had a really bad shortage of, it was a buyer's market like crazy out here. I mean, the inventory was so low. And now what we're seeing is, inventory is getting a little bit higher, but it's still a crazy demand. There's so many buyers coming from California, which is ultra expensive, wanting to move to Vegas, which is very cheap. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but it's cheap to live here in Vegas, and the housing costs, they're just going up because there's demand. There's so much demand. So I wrote an article about this. I've had a lot of talks with realtors in Nevada, some of my clients, and no, we haven't seen any issues. It's been really great, I have to say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Chad and I, like he said, we were there, 2 years ago, Chad, maybe?
Yeah.
And I took him on a date. We went on, we rented a helicopter. Well, I'm married, so he's not. But anyways, so I took him on a helicopter from.
Tom, your mistress?
So is it near Hendersonville? Is that where the airport is? In Henderson, yeah. So I think that's where we took off of. And then we went into the Grand Canyon.
Oh.
So I thought that was really, really cool. But when we were there, we were looking at some of the prices on homes. And I was like pretty floored at pricing of homes. Probably mid 3s, low 400s was pretty reasonable size, 4,000 square foot home. I was like, wow. And they're fairly new. There's a lot of construction because everybody looks at Vegas and they look at the Strip. But really on the outskirts is where you see all the boom going on. Yeah. And I didn't see that until we went to that helicopter.
Well, the thing is, we have to build because there's such demand for buyers. It's such about buyer's market. I mean, we'd love to have more sellers. So Corona's been good to sort of balance the inventory, but
Right.
it's a strong buyer's market here.
Well, that's crazy cool. Well,
Yeah.
look, let me see now as we start to transition, what's your thought on the transitioning from quarantine? Is it like a thought of anxiety? Is it a thought of, hey man, oh, thank goodness I can get out of here? I'm kind of curious to see how different people are kind of reacting to it. So what are your thoughts on the transition back into normal-ish life?
Yeah. I wish I had all the answers. I wish I knew if it was safe or not to safe, because of course I want to get out same as everyone, but I want to be safe about it.
Right.
And the great thing about real estate is it is low contact. You don't even have to see the person. People can buy houses now without even seeing the homes,
Right.
which is awesome, and there's social distancing and things like that. So I feel like if anything were to go back to work, real estate would be the best because it's really a low contact sort of profession.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, let's open it up for real estate as soon as possible, because the thing is we missed the spring boom, right? But that doesn't mean that those people in the spring just decided not to buy or sell. I mean, they still want to buy a home. Now they're just going to wait till the summer when they actually can, right? The spring boom didn't go away. It just got pushed back, right?
Yeah.
So I know that however long it takes this month, June, by July, we're going to be rocking and rolling in a really big way, no matter where you are in the United States. That's just fact. If you look at all the statistics, they say that by July and August, that'll be like completely gone, the coronavirus. Of course, they say it's going to spike again in the fall. We'll worry about that in the fall, but at least we're going to have a couple of summer months where we can get in those purchases of homes.
That's a really good point. I think it's interesting. We've done this quite a few times now, and I hadn't heard anybody talk about the spring boom just being pushed back, right? It's almost like we just forgot about that conversation. So good for you for putting that back out, because that's really true. Even for us, and we talk about it from numbers perspective, our business in May is down 72%. I mean, that's a huge number to miss in the month of May. And now we're starting to see it coming back in June slightly. We're still down, but hopefully July and August that will turn, because in real estate, everything is a 90-day turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, the reason why Chad and I decided to put this V podcast together, it was more of finding people like you who are very successful in their own right, who are business owners. But rather than always talk about our successes, I like to talk about maybe what I call screw ups, but some of our life lessons that happened in our past. It doesn't have to be like yesterday or last week, or it could be 20 years ago. Some of the guys talked about. What is something that you'd be willing to share with us in our listeners that is something that happened to you, a life lesson that either is really helped you in your personal life or your professional life?
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to come back around to the first question you asked me, which was, why did you switch from being a performer to real estate?
Nice.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't quite answer the question. I sort of
let it
went
ride.
around and was like, I don't really want to answer that, But to come back to it, because it was a sort of screw up, sort of like life lesson thing. How did I end up here? I was singing in Europe and I was performing out there in castles and cathedrals. And I mean, I was living my best life. Right. I had a #1 hit single in Europe, and it was just amazing. And I come back to America for what I think is going to be this routine visa renewal. Right. I only brought one carry-on. All my stuff was in here. And I thought, I'm just going to have fun for a month in America, visit friends, get a tan. It's going to be great. Right. Well, 1 month turned into another, and the visas company is like, oh, you got to wait another month, issues, blah, blah, blah. 1 month turned into another, turned into another, turned into another. I realized I'm never going back to Europe. They're not going to give me a visa, right?
Wow.
So there I am, stuck in America with one carry-on of possessions, no skill sets, because I've been singing my whole life. But newsflash, in Vegas, there's not a lot of demand for an opera singer in Vegas, not a big demand. So I thought, I don't even know. I have no skills. I can't even get a job. All I can do is sing, just sing for my supper. So I just thought, okay, something has to change. Like, I need to do something. And, I'd already sang my whole life. I had a pretty good career, done a lot of stuff in singing. And I thought, I'm sort of tired of running around everywhere. and like always chasing the next gig, and then, you know, getting a lot of money for a gig and then being broke again, and then having bigger. I thought it'd be nice to have a career, and it'd be nice to be able to help people instead of just like, you know, myself on to the next gig, you know? And I came across digital marketing because I've always done marketing, obviously marketed my music. And I thought, well, why can't I market something that actually helps other people, like a service? And then again, real estate was a natural fit for me because of my performer background, right? And a lot of people in Vegas, once they're performers, they become realtors because it's so. And so I thought, well, I know so many ex-performers turn realtors that I could help. So that sort of helped me transition into this big, larger thing and all of this. And I just, as soon as I got into it, I fell in love with it. And so the same dedication and passion I used for singing, I translated to real estate. So I think that's why I've been able to scale so quickly, is because I just, you know, sort of transferred my passion from one thing to another.
Wow.
You know, so that's sort of my screw up, life lesson, turn around, make it better story.
Well, that's cool.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's you know, it's interesting. I really like the fact that you are making that correlation of performer to realtor. I think that you're on to something really big with that. I never listened to it the way you're saying, but it makes so much sense. Of the way that people can transit. I'm going to start recruiting from the Opera House. So,
yeah,
but no, seriously, it makes so much sense what you're saying, because, you know, to do the things that you have to do to be a singer, I mean, you have to really invest in that time. And there's a lot of research that goes into that. I would imagine there's a lot of, you know, things that you have to do to prepare to perform. Just like a listing appointment, you got to prepare for that, and you are performing at the listing appointment, whether you believe it or not. You are.
Oh yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of neat correlations there.
Oh,
I'm gonna put some time and effort into understanding it a little bit better that way.
Yeah, and not only it's a performance, and it's that connection. You know, in real estate, we always say relationship. Well, that's the same thing. When you're performing, you're creating that relationship with your audience.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important to have that. So yeah, there's a lot of correlations between the two.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good for you on
Excellent.
that.
Really cool comparison.
What part of Vegas are you currently living in?
I'm in Summerlin,
Summerlin,
which is next to the Red Rocks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Well, look, I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing that with us. That seems awesome. It sounds like where you're at today happens to be like, are you happier today since I know you know both sides now? Do you find more excitement and happiness in what you're in to currently versus what you had in the past and couldn't get back because of the visa situation?
Well, I feel like I never stopped performing. Like I said, I still feel like I'm performing, you know, and I am, well, out of quarantine, you know, just performing at the Venetian, but, you know, I'm still singing. But when I do my job, I feel like I'm still performing. I'm a brand ambassador for Inman, for example. And so I'm promoting that brand, and it's sort of a performance, you know, cool. It's that sort of passion that I'm conveying to another person about why it's awesome, you know, which is what I do when I perform. So it's a natural fit. I don't feel like I've given up one for the other. I feel like it's one continuation.
That's cool. Well, here, as we get into a closing right now, I want to ask you if you would be willing to share your top 2 places that you would visit once quarantine is gone, this whole thing is taken care of. Where would be the top 2 places that's on top of mind that I got to get there once I am able to go? Anywhere in the world, where would they be?
Oh, well, you know, I'm going back to Europe just as soon as I can. Just as soon as I can. I mean, it was supposed to be in June and then coronavirus, and now like July, but then still, and so I'm hoping August I can go back. But I mean, literally, as soon as the flights are available and we can, I'm gone.
That's awesome. Where else? One other, you got to pick another one. You said Europe. There's got to be another one.
Oh, then I want to go home to California and visit my family. Because I do miss seeing them. I'm living in Vegas, and I'm a California girl originally, so my family's back there. So it'd be nice to visit them again.
Yeah, I grew up in PB, San Diego, as a kid.
Oh, nice.
So a little bit of a California boy in me as well. Well, look, how are folks able to get a hold of you if they needed to research what your services are, or how to get a hold of you, or how to follow you? What's the easiest tags or websites that you have available to share real quickly?
Just shoot me a message on Facebook. Easy peasy. I'm a relationship person. This is a relationship business. Message me personally on Facebook. Let's have a conversation. Let me know what your goals are, what's going on in your business. I can help you. If I can't help you, I can point you in the right direction. A strategy call doesn't hurt anybody. I have a full service agency, right? And so we work with brokerages, we work with individual agents, we do lead generation, we have our own ISA team, we have our own, CRM, which has automated follow-ups, we have everything. But at the same time, I understand that not all agents need that right now or can afford that right now. So I actually even created a course for agents to teach themselves how to do marketing. So wherever you're at in your journey, I can definitely help you. I can definitely help point you in the right direction. So just shoot me a message on Facebook and I'd be very happy to help out.
Well, Victoria, on behalf of Chad and myself, man, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and hanging out with us, just chilling and talking about a little bit of sports and a little bit of life. Well, if there's anything else, I just want to say thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on you. We'll follow up.
Thank you, Victoria.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
We can't wait to hopefully see you perform in Venetian.
Yeah,
in the
that
near
would be
future.
awesome. or in Europe again. Who knows?
Or in Europe. Well, you and I will talk again, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have yourself.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.